Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna give a minute for a couple people to get in here. Just want to go over a couple things with you real quick. Just want to go over a couple things real quick. All right. I didn't give out a warning for this live stream. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing. I just want to make sure that I get this out here because I feel like we as YouTubers have a an obligation to share, you know, truth. So I want to do that. I don't want to be out in these streets giving misleading information. I don't want to be out in these streets saying the wrong thing. Um, we have to remember that. We have to remember that although we may want something to happen, in our opinion it should happen, and things like that, it doesn't mean that that's the law, right? The law and opinion are two completely different things, right? What you think about Michael Long, how you feel about him, in the eyes of the law, that does not matter, right? Does not matter. I am really annoyed that I see um, my favorite person in the world, WACB, is out here just being a nuisance, like as usual, getting people all tizzied up in a frenzy, causing all kinds of people to call, just all kinds of nonsense. So I want to make a couple of things clear to anybody who actually gives a crap. If you are one of these idiots in a Facebook group who calls Texas law enforcement, you're stupid. Unless you have pertinent information to share with them, why are you calling? The state of Texas has been largely defunded, okay? I found this out when I helped cover the Cash Gurning case, okay? I've heard from people who live in Texas who say they get put on hold when they call local law enforcement. Now this was Dallas, don't get me wrong, but this defunding of the police affected the whole state of Texas, okay? That means that the officials that are working double time, triple time, whatever that may be. And they're making up. Thank you, Tina, for being a member. I appreciate that. These people that work there, not only are they giving their blood, sweat, and tears to even be local law enforcement, to be, officials, but now they have to deal with Karen over here from the Facebook group who wants to be nosy and call. And oh, thank you, Bad Art. Appreciate that. 5K holla. So listen, Karen, whoever you are, please don't bother them. I mean, I didn't even call. I sent a DM, and you'd be surprised how often you can get the information you would get from calling by sending a DM. The only difference is they get back to you at their convenience, right? So if you must know for your Facebook group, just send a DM, first of all. All right? These people have enough going on. They don't need you calling. Please don't call them. Then I wanted to say this too. Now that we all kind of have a better understanding about what's going on with Michael and Sophie Long, okay? Now that there's a better, clearer understanding, and we know that Katie Joy is just Katie Joy, and she's trying to pass off anything she can that suits her quote unquote narrative. I hate that word, but it's the truth, right? Because the fact of the matter is, right? If you, like, back to the calling thing, if you were to call, let's play pretend for a second, don't call, but if you were to call and be like, hey, is Sophie Long missing, right? They'd be like, yeah, but we can't give you any information. Now, if you were to call and say, like, is Summer Wells missing? They would be like, yes, what do you know? What do you know? Tell us everything you know, right? Because she is technically, now put your feelings aside. Your feelings don't matter right now. They don't. Technically not missing, okay? She's missing. A report has been filed, right? But Michael Long actually has time, whether we like it or not. I don't like it. I know half of you don't like it. He has time to figure this out with the court. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't agree with it, but I'm not a judge. What do you want from me? So, let me see. So, please don't waste officials' time for one, right? Um Now, talking to a few people here, it seems like, this is like a possession order, right? You can go to the Texas Judicial Court website in the family law section, and you can see the possession order sections, right? Another thing, we don't know if a psych evaluation was given, right? We only know what they're telling us. They're also telling us that they're out there searching for Michael, which we now know is not true. So I don't know how much I even want to believe the psych evaluation thing. Do I think that Michael's crazy? Hell yeah, I do. But it doesn't matter what I think, right? I don't know for sure if he 100% has had a psych evaluation done. He might have, but I don't know that, okay? And I'm only here to. Here's the thing, guys. I'm not on Michael's side. I'm not on Kelly's side. The only side I'm on is Sophie, right? And I don't want people to have the wrong idea about what's happening. So now that there's a better understanding, Michael might have between 14 to like 20 days to take care of business, right? So if he's a flight risk, right, they'll most likely schedule an emergency hearing and hold him in contempt of court if he doesn't give her back, right? Now, until the judge does that, or he puts his answer, or Michael drops her off, he still has legal custodial rights, right? He does. In the eyes of the law, he does. Um, Now, of course, they probably want to keep eyes on him to make sure he doesn't take off, right? Because he said he would, right? Now, if that's the case, they can't do anything legally unless he tries to run, apparently. Now, judging by what I've read, okay? Um, we don't like Michael. We don't believe he should have, some people don't believe he should have it right now. Some people believe he should, right? But if the police are telling you they're not out there actively searching for him, then they're not, you know? And I think that's what we need to understand. They did say if you see them, you can give them a call, right? But I read a comment I read a comment that like gave me a heart attack. I read that somebody was out there looking for him. Like vigilante status, okay? Vigilante status. If you want to be a police officer, go get the training and go get a job. Don't be out here in your Hyundai Civic, roaming the streets of Texas looking for Michael yourself. Because guess what? As much as some of us might not think he's all there, technically, he hasn't done anything technically wrong yet in the eyes of the law. And that's why they're not actively searching for him. He has time. He does. And I'm not saying I agree with it. Again, please do not put words in my mouth, okay? It's just how things go. So, Tina, yes, it is easy to go with the loudest noise, and that is not the whole story. As much as we hate this law, um, it's just, we just must be patient. I know. I agree. I agree. I agree. Um, so, what is, okay, yeah. Who, I cannot, I'm just dumbfounded that these people are just calling the police to ask a question over and over. Can you imagine how many people across the country have probably called officials to ask the same question over and over and over again? I can't even wrap my head around that. You guys are jerks. You guys are jerks. You guys are jerks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm sorry. Knowing that they're defunded, knowing that, you're calling and asking just so you can go back to your little gossip group and, let your girlfriends know, it's not cool. It's not cool. Now, usually, if a missing person is in danger, right, usually local law enforcement will tell us. Like I said, if you were to call about Summer Wells, they'd be all over you asking for the details. If you were to call about Sophie Long, they're going to be like, yeah, we can't talk about it, right? That should tell us what we need to know, okay? So I'm just so sick of like, well, when I called, they said this. So when I called, why are you calling? Why? What is wrong with you in your head that you think it's okay to waste taxpayer time like that? What is wrong with you? Oh my God. I can't, you guys. And you need to understand, they got defunded, man. They're working their asses off over there. I'm telling you, I've heard phone calls from people in the Cash Gurning case, okay, that said it took 40 minutes for the police to get there when Darian Brown was out running amok in their neighborhood. And if it didn't take, now this is just speculation, if it didn't take 20, 30, 40 minutes for the police to come out to get Darian Brown to look for him every time somebody in the neighborhood called, then maybe Cash Gurning wouldn't be dead right now. Maybe they would have caught Darian Brown, because by the time they got there, so the dude was calling the police like, hey, there's a kid out here, he's breaking my camera, my doorbell cam. He's breaking my fence. He's causing havoc in my neighborhood. I need you guys to come out, right? 40 minutes later, the cops show up, and it's not their fault, right? Because they're defunded and they don't have the means. They don't have the manpower, okay? This is a true story, okay? I can link it after. It really, really woke me up to how bad Texas really has it right now, okay? So 40 minutes later, the cops show up, because that's the best they can do at the time, I guess. And Darian Brown was long gone each time somebody in that neighborhood called to make a complaint or say they have someone out there, they took time to get there. By the time they got there to take care of Darian Brown, they couldn't even find him. They couldn't even find him. Couldn't even find him. All right? And if they could have found him, if they had more manpower, if they had more people, and they got there sooner, maybe they would have found him the million times his neighbors called police. Maybe Cash Gurnon wouldn't be dead. Maybe if Karen from the Facebook group wasn't clogging up, resources for her little gossip group, maybe, just maybe, they could have got there, It's frustrating, man. Yeah, so I'll link the story after. You can hear this neighbor call, okay? You can hear it call. It is the wildest thing to know that for weeks, these neighbors in Dallas, Texas now, Sophie and Michael are from a different area, don't get me wrong. But it's terrifying to know that, can you imagine there's somebody on your property, right? They are breaking your camera, breaking your fence. They have a hammer. They're threatening you, right? This is what Darian Brown did. They're threatening you to kill you, your family, blah, 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 right? They do that, right? They do that. I will let you hear the recordings from these neighbors. I will even link the officials that had a meeting and said, look, we just don't have the means of the manpower right now. And this was weeks ago, guys. Weeks ago, right? There was a recorded community gathering where the mayor, whoever is in charge of that, block, whoever's in charge of that county, they were there. They were like, look, we'll try to do better, but we can't promise you guys anything. Can you imagine hearing that? These facts are out there, you guys. I'm not making this up. I've heard it with my own ears a couple times. So anybody that's not involved with this or doesn't have any information that's calling, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Crazy. Let's see. Ashlyd, are you telling me that this didn't happen? Is that what you're saying? You're telling me this didn't happen? That Texas is not struggling right now? That neighbors are not on record with their local law enforcement saying we don't have the manpower to get to you in time? Is that what you're saying to me? Are you saying to me that people should be calling and clogging up resources? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm just asking. Just asking. I haven't been following the case. These are facts. These are facts. There is no factual evidence saying that Michael is mentally unstable and that he failed, quote unquote, failed a mental health evaluation. That's not a fact. It's not. Even if we want it to be a fact, it's not a fact, right? Law enforcement officials are not out actively looking for either one of them. That's a fact, right? That's a fact. It's also a fact that if you were to call and say, hey, I know about Summer Wells, they jump down your throat. If you were to call and say, hey, what about Sophie? They'd be like, yeah, I can't talk about it. That's also a fact. So I'm not sure what you're trying to convey here, but try again, okay? If you have any proof of the things you're trying to say that I don't know, then go ahead, supply it. I'll listen, I'm not too big to admit my faults. For example, I'm like, oh my god, Sophie's missing. Until I learned that Michael has time, unfortunately, whether I want him to have time or not. Whether I like it or not. I'm not a judge, right? These are facts. I'm not here to take sides with this one, take sides with that one, like frickin' Katie, okay? Katie's doing this because she's like, told you so. Because look at how it worked out for, Glare and 10 to Life. They thought what they were doing at the time was right? And it wasn't, okay? They were wrong, okay? They were wrong. But you know. And then you got Katie over here, like, told you so. Yeah, they're out actively looking for Michael Long. No, they're not. No, they're not. Listen, I am a small time YouTuber who just started to get into this stuff, right? If I can contact them via DM and get an answer, and Katie Joy can't do that, she can't even figure that out for herself. She's telling you, yup, they're out here actively looking for him. Yup, yup. And then I say, no, they're not. And then she's like, oh, okay. Like, girl, what are you doing? Now she has some dude out in his Honda Civic looking for freaking Michael. God knows what could happen, you know? So I think it's important for people to know what's really happening here, okay? That's it. I don't, I'm not saying this to stick up for Michael. He's a freaking flake. I think he's a weirdo with his feathers and shit. He's weird. I know he said weird stuff. Doesn't mean I agree with any of these things. I am not. I'm just trying to, what I'm trying to do is make sure that people from these Facebook groups aren't searching for him and they're not calling, and that people understand he has time whether we like it or not, okay? That's it. That's it. Um, Michael has not lost custody. He can appeal. We may not like it, but currently that is the law. Thank you very much. I can't handle thinking about Cash Grannon either, Sassy. It literally keeps me awake at night. That poor boy. Ugh. The Cash Grannon case just, well, it's like, and I hate to compare them, but it reminds me of like the Watts case where like you literally lose sleep over it, you know? It really bothers me. So, yeah, it's messy. It is messy. Um, let's see. The case is extremely messy, and Critical K was the only creator that had Kelly's back against the ML mob, and she is not going to speak on it. Okay? Good for her. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but so yeah, I'm out here pushing real facts, Ashley. So I don't know what the deal is, but I'm here today to make sure I rectify things and don't leave anybody confused under the impression that, you know, there's wanted posters out there for Michael and that Sophie's in danger and all this crazy stuff. That's what I don't want. I don't want people to think that Critical K is a damaged human being. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just here trying to make sure I'm not giving out wrong information, literally. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less, you know? Yeah, so I just wanted to say that. Telling you right now, don't call these people. Please don't bother them, and please don't go searching for Michael Long, okay? Because if you go searching for Michael Long, who knows what could happen? You might actually put Sophie in danger. Think about that for a second. Who are you to go searching for Michael? What? Why would you even do that? Why would you even consider that? It's not your place. It's not. Anyone been watching the Doghouse guy? The Doghouse guy? We got Snoopy or something? Who's up? What's up with the Doghouse guy? Yeah, so it's awful when parents use kids as weapons. I feel so bad for the Long kids with all this back and forth, plus the damn internet getting involved. I know, I would have to agree. I'd have to agree. And until there's like something major, I'm not going to talk about this again. I'm going to actually wait for, official documents and stuff. I just want people to know between fact and fiction, because some of these YouTubers, they have to protect their crappy persona, and they're lying in order to do that, and they're using the Sophie story in order to help bandage their open wounds that they've created in the YouTube sphere. And it's just gross. It's gross, you know. I tend to think at this point that she's safer with Dad. See, I think they're all screwed up, be honest with you. I wish that Sophie could just, I don't know. I think both parents are a freaking joke at this point. I don't know, man. I just want Sophie to have a normal, stable life. What she's dealing with is not stable. Any parent that puts a video like that out into the universe is not okay in my book. I'm sorry, it's just not. There's other ways to gain attention besides, I can see recording it, that I can understand, but putting it online, no, 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 no. It's just sad. I wish she would have a stable environment. It doesn't seem to me that either one of these parents, in my opinion, now my opinion don't matter. It doesn't. In the grand scheme of things, it don't matter. But I wish she would go to a home where she could be stable, protected, looked after and not made out to be a spectacle, you know. Um, but yeah, so all right, guys, I just wanted to put that out there. We're not always going to agree on everything, right? That's fine. We're not always going to agree. But there is a difference between, you know, somebody being missing and someone being searched for, actively in danger type missing, right? There is a difference, whether we want to say that or not. But all right, guys. So thank you, Bugsy. I appreciate that. All right, guys. So have a good day. Take care. Do something nice for somebody today if you can, all right? It's a cold, cold world. Bye, guys.